So hello, I'm András from the Culture Next executive team, and I'm here to discuss with Stefan Teixanu, who has been the coordinator of the thematic working group on the reform of the European Capital of Culture program. So we are here to discuss a little bit how the little bit more unusual masterclass unfolded, and why you chose to have a meeting and an event in Brussels with key stakeholders. So hi, Stefan.
Hi, thanks for the conversation. We decided to go to Brussels because this is where the decisions are made. Now Brussels, the European Commission, and the interested stakeholders are discussing the future of the program for European Capitals of Culture. So that's why we imagined the final masterclass as a two-session meeting, first with the representatives of Director General for Culture in the European Commission, followed by a meeting with 10 of the most important European and international cultural networks, many of those having a major interest in the European Capital of Culture program and significant input on the future improvements needed.
And before that, you did a primary analysis about how Culture Next members are perceiving the European Capital of Culture initiative per se. So were you bringing these conclusions to this table, I would assume?
Of course. So this is these final meetings were actually a dissemination encounters for the study we've been trying to contribute with. The European Commission, as we know, has run their own research on how to improve the program for the European Capital of Culture. Chemnitz and Nova Gorica, European Capital of Culture title holders for 2025, also did a research on previous title holders. And Culture Next attempted to bring its own perspective, its own unique perspective on the matter, a perspective that brings together inputs from winner cities, awarded cities, non-awarded cities, and also current candidates. So we run this research. We came up with 10 main conclusions, and we presented this to the European Commission representatives, and then we discussed this with 10 international networks to also reach some alignment in what is common in our proposals and what are the next steps for a better implementation of the ECoC program in the future.
And what's your take on how this interaction with the other networks happen? Because it's not every time so usual for networks to meet with other networks and to discuss the issues. So what do you think is there an added value in continuing this conversation with these networks?
Well, that's exactly the point. It's not a common habit for the networks to meet. It sometimes happens in some ad hoc initiatives, but with Culture Next, we're trying to set up a recurrent framework for this sort of meetings, and we use the ECoC improvement that is being discussed now all around the continent as a common point of interest, which is important for many cultural networks in Europe. And the reality checked we were right, because it was a really enthusiastic meeting in Brussels, where we decided to set up a communication group with for these networks. We decided to analyze starting a mobility program for the network managers, so we can learn from one another and support one another. And we also decided to have recurrent meetings like this, some of them also involving political decision makers. And we are now planning the first comeback to Brussels. And last but not least, Culture Next will have a specific objective in connecting with culture networks in Europe and outside the continent, and in setting up a more formal framework for us to meet and collaborate.
And finally, how do you think the work in this thematic working group helped the life of members of the Culture Next Cities network, and how was it beneficial to the network itself?
I would start with the emotional benefits. In times like this, in technical situations like this, where the European Commission analyzes the ECoC program or organizes official events for the European Capital of Culture, usually the only cities invited at the table are the winner cities, the ones that have or had the title. But now it was a very good and very official and recognized and acclaimed by the European Commission opportunity for other types of city to sit at the table as well. So not only winners had an input here, but also cities that were not awarded in previous ECoC competitions. And also, and this is very important, cities that are current candidates and are struggling or benefiting right now as we speak by the current framework for bidding. So it was a very interesting, nice feeling of a common, more diverse table for more diverse perspective and input. And second, the technical level, so to say. It was very important for the Culture Next member cities to realign on this discourse, which is one of our most important and deepest beliefs, that the European Capital of Culture legacy is not actually title legacy, but is bid book legacy. So once you are a candidate city, once you wrote a bid book where you brought all these local and international energies, financial commitments, strategies in place, different stakeholders at the table, you are already up to something important, where culture becomes a driving force for local sustainable development. So no matter how this ECoC competition ends for you, you are in a better position to do something significant for your culture sector and through the culture sector for your city and region. So for us, this was a very good exercise that proved that ECoC legacy is actually bid book legacy, and this is how we would like the European Commission to look at the program as well. This is our main takeaway from the process, and it's also our main input for the new ECoC competition framework.
Thank you very much for this conversation.
Thank you as well.